Welcome to SVG-TV News for Tuesday, October 8, 2019. I am Rochelle Batiste with the details. In the Constitution, Vincentians have affirmed to the concept that SVG is founded on the belief in the supremacy of God and the freedom and dignity of man. So says Queen's Counsel Panel Campbell, who on his Law and You program last evening on SVG-TV put into context a challenge to the country's buggery and indecency laws and that of the Word of God. The country's current buggery and gross indecency laws criminalize the act of homosexuality, and Campbell said the case is hinged mainly on the concepts of man against the concept of the Word of God, and that the courts will have to choose an interpretation of the supremacy of God, whether the Word of God is more powerful than what man wants it to mean. He said while the claimants in the case and their legal team have put forward the arguments that the buggery laws, which date back to colonial past, are against the basic tenets of the Constitution that protect the rights and freedom of every citizen, they should also consider the words of God outlined in the Bible.
The question is, where it is alleged that the freedom of man is being circumscribed by certain laws, the question will arise very squarely to be answered as to which is more important, the supremacy of God or the freedom of man. In other words, must man bend his laws to suit the supremacy of God, or must the supremacy of God give way to the alleged freedom of man? And to me, that is the fundamental principle which the cases will have to address and the judges will have to address. And the judges will have to tell us if the supremacy of God means anything at all in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The judges will have to tell us if the Word of God carries any meaning, and if so, whether that meaning is compatible with the challenge brought against the laws pertaining to buggery.
The Queen's Counsel said it is expected that the law of the Bible, which is the Word of God, should be placed on a higher level than the laws of men.
Because if God is supreme, and if His Word is supreme, then His laws must be supreme as well. They must take precedence over the laws made by man. But interestingly enough, you will find those words in the constitutions of many other nations, and in particular the constitutions of nations in the Caribbean. Those words are found in the Constitution of Belize. Those words are found in the Constitution of Trinidad and Tobago and other Caribbean countries. Belief in the supremacy of God. God is supreme. So the Constitution says. But really and truly, does the Constitution mean what it says? And that is the question.
The first court hearing in relation to the legal challenge of the country's buggery laws took place on Wednesday, September 20th, which was a case management matter. The next hearing is slated for November 13th, at which time the court will decide how many days should be set aside for the trial. In other news, the SVG Medical Association is observing Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and another appeal is being made for both women and men to have breast examination done. Prostate cancer is also being highlighted during this month, and the association says it is equally important for men to have their prostates examined. Larissa Poggs, the Kid, tells us more in this report.
Breast examinations or mammograms have reportedly increased in recent times as the SVG Medical Association continues to raise awareness on breast cancer. While breast cancer is mainly associated with women, men can also have breast cancer, and according to President of the SVG Medical Association, Dr. Rosalind Ambrose, 2 Vincentian men were recently diagnosed with breast cancer. Dr. Ambrose again called on persons to heed early warning signs of breast cancer, as she said it is curable once detected early.
We need to heighten our attention to factors that may present as the onset of breast cancer, because it is a serious disease, has lots of consequences, but it is curable if it is caught early enough, so that women who are affected by the disease are not left with the thought that it's the end game, because it isn't. It is possible to have surgery, have radiotherapy, chemotherapy, and many other intervening treatment methods are available.
Breast cancer is the leading cause of death in women in SVG, and the SVG Medical Association continues to assist women diagnosed with the disease with their medical expenses. Financial assistance is secured through various fundraising activities.
Because we do support women in covering costs of women who are affected and diagnosed with breast cancer. We may assist them with airfare to go to, if they need to go to Trinidad or Guyana for radiotherapy, because that's not available in St. Vincent. The chemotherapy agents, some of which are available here, but it is pricey. It's very expensive, and so we may assist them with finances for that. We also will give assistance to women for the laboratory tests, because they need to have follow-ups on a really regular basis. But each year, you know, there are more people being diagnosed, and so someone else comes and fills that gap.
Over the weekend, the association held its annual 5K run, which was well supported. This Friday, October 11, the popular Pink Cap City Walk and Rally will be held, and persons are encouraged to come out in their numbers to support the event. It will be held at Heritage Square and starts at 3:30 p.m. Dr. Ambrose said it is important for women who are 45 years and over to have a mammogram done, noting that they do not necessarily need to see a doctor to have a referral.
If you recognize anything that is not the usual finding when you touch the breast, some women need to be encouraged to touch the breast, because people just don't do self-examination of their own bodies regularly enough. And so we like to encourage women to do that. And certainly if you discover something that hadn't been there before, we need to get you to come to medical attention.
During the month, the SVG Medical Association is also raising awareness on prostate cancer, which is the leading cause of death among men in this country. Dr. Ambrose is appealing to men across SVG to have their prostate examined before it is too late.
We presently have 2 males with prostate cancer. We are assisted in a similar way that we assist women with breast cancer to be with prostate cancer. So we try to encourage men to get their examination done, their clinical examination, have the PSA, get an ultrasound or what the physician recommends for them, and so we can catch them early. Because the earlier we make the diagnosis, the better the prognosis, the outcome is for these patients.
Reporting for SVG-TV News, Larissa Pogsley, Kid.
A number of local stakeholders were engaged today in discussions which will continue tomorrow on SVG Tsunami Warning Protocol, which outline their roles and responsibilities in the event of a tsunami. The two-day national consultation is being facilitated by the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency, SVGTV, and the National Emergency Management Organization, NEMO. SVG is one of 4 countries identified by SVGTV and the Caribbean Tsunami Information Center to improve on its early response to tsunami warnings. SVGTV representative Rhea Headley said that participation is necessary to have a holistic response to tsunami in SVG and across the region.
SVGTV's objectives at this national workshop in St. Vincent are as follows. We want to support the adaptation of the model national tsunami SOPs to St. Vincent and the Grenadines context, and to support the documentation of recommendations and best practices that would be drawn from this workshop.
Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of National Security, Air and Seaport Development, Yvette Pompey, says due to SVG's topography, the effects of a tsunami hazard could be catastrophic, hence the need to be prepared for any eventuality.
I would like to highlight the possible effects of the impact of a tsunami affecting our island. Injuries, loss of lives, loss of livelihood, damage or destruction to buildings, damage or destruction to our infrastructure, disruption to lives, whether it be transportation, communication, all those areas of the sector, impact on the economy. Hence, I encourage you, active participation, you must, as we seek to build our capacity to prepare and respond to possible impacts of tsunamis. This consultation is evident that we will not wait until we are impacted and find ourselves wanting.
NEMO's director, Michelle Forbes, is one of the facilitators, along with consultant Caitlin Mead. Over the next 2 days, Mead said gaps will be identified in SVG's response to hazards, particularly as it relates to tsunami and the preparedness by all stakeholders.
Identified gaps, of course, is this whole idea of how do we deal with the occurrence of a tsunami? Does everyone know what they should do? Okay, and do agencies collaborate, or do they know how to collaborate? Will they have time to do that? And how do we ensure that that happens right before it leads to a national catastrophe? And so we don't want to wait until that time comes, only to find out that we are not ready and that we have made no effort towards being ready. Okay, and so that is really what this project is all about.
The discussions will continue tomorrow, where the protocols that should be developed will be reviewed for adaptation. Vincentians living abroad will be able to celebrate SVG's 40th anniversary of independence through a series of activities which will be held in the diaspora. Foreign Officer in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Janelle Frederick, said that thus far Vincentian groups in Canada, the UK and the USA have indicated that they will be hosting their activities on different dates throughout the month.
SVG Consulate in Canada, Toronto, and they will be having a flag raising ceremony that will take place on the 25th of October, followed by an Independence Anniversary Church service on the 27th of October. They will move into November and have the Independence Gala with the SVG Association of Toronto and the SVG support group. Ottawa, Calgary, Montreal, Winnipeg. They also will be hosting an Independence Gala, and at various times. The Ottawa takes place on the 26th of October. Calgary, the SVG Association of Calgary, takes place on the 26th of October for their Independence Gala. Montreal, their Independence Gala will be on the 2nd of November, and Winnipeg, their Independence Gala is hosted by the SVG Association of Winnipeg on the 9th of November. The SVG High Commission in London will be hosting a dinner and dance in conjunction with the SVG Women Association of London.
Frederick said persons in the diaspora who would like to be part of these celebration activities can contact their respective council groups or associations.
Seen with the shockwaves from supernova leading to the birth of new stars. Supernova will mark SVG 40th Independence Anniversary celebration, and nationals will be explosive on the road with distinguished costume sections. Moving now to the SVG Embassy and Permanent Mission in Washington, D.C. Most of their activities will be hosted by various groups, including the St. Vincent and the Grenadines National Association in Washington, D.C. They're having a church service as well as a dinner and dance, annual Caribbean cruise, which celebrates the 40th anniversary, and that will take place on December the 13th, 2019. The other activities which I mentioned before will take place from the 20th to around the 26th and 27th of October. The St. Vincent and the Grenadines Association of Pennsylvania, they will also be having a flag raising ceremony, church service, dinner and dance.
Parents on the Grenadine island of Bequia have been told that the time has now come when they must let loose their children after investing in their education and let them fly into the world of entrepreneurship. The advice was given by Director of Grenadines Affairs Herman Belmar as he addressed the opening of a one-week micro-business simulation seminar by the Center for Enterprise Development, Inc., CED, on Monday night at the Paget Farm Community Center. 25 residents on Bequia are taking part in the seminar geared at improving their business planning and management skills.
Parents can no longer hold on to their children, especially when they're well educated, and think that they're going to keep them at home here in Bequia. If we look at the public service, it is filled with very young people, starting from the permanent secretaries and working your way right down. All of the services, the police, the teachers, the nurses, you name it, which indicates that these young people are going to be holding on to the public service jobs for at least another 20 years before retirement. Are we going to keep our children tied down at home for another 20 years before they find employment? Absolutely not. We will have a revolt on hand. Therefore, I see you coming here this evening and see your faces as the faces of the future of Bequia. I see you as the future of the business sector of this community.
Speaking to the specific objective of the seminar, which is to experience how to manage a micro-business effectively using an experience-based approach, Belmar noted that he has seen where many people have started businesses and do not have the basic practical skills and knowledge to manage their businesses and have bad business principles which often lead to failure.
And it happens daily in Bequia, where is my business? Is my petty cash? Is my cash pan? I have a need, an urgent need. You don't pay yourself a salary because you say it's not fast enough, growing fast enough to pay yourself a salary. Nevertheless, you have a need and the money comes from nowhere else but out of that cash pan. And without proper accounting, without proper principles being put in place, that business slowly changes direction. And it often fails. CED is here to put you on the right footing through a practical game. For the lack of a better term, we call it a game, where you're doing something in practical terms and managing what you need to do from the writing your proposal, getting your figures together, managing those figures, and seeing yourself become a profitable.
The seminar is being delivered by CED certified trainers Keisha Phillips and Nisha Glasgow. It is part of a project by the Savings Bank Foundation for International Cooperation that supports the strengthening of the financial sector and improve access to financial services across the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union. In other news, students from the SVG Community College and other educational institutions here seize the opportunity today to learn more about the opportunities available to study abroad and about the unique areas of studies available worldwide. This through a university college fair hosted by the SVG Community College in partnership with the Study Abroad Student Services based in Trinidad at the SVG Community College Villa campus. Representatives from universities based in the US, UK, and Canada were on hand at the fair to provide information to the students on the respective programs and possible source of scholarships. The director of the SVG Community College, Nigel Scott, said today's fair forms part of the institution's commitment to provide opportunities for the students to grow and excel.
Always looking for opportunities for our students to expand and to grow, and so even after they leave us, they need to have opportunities for where they can further their studies, and that's really why we're here today, to present the students with these opportunities, that they will know what's out there, what's available, what sort of funding they might be able to get, what sort of scholarships they might be able to access, and what are some of the opportunities and areas of study they can pursue outside of the region, because we can't just limit our students to the region. The reality is many of our students, our graduates, will migrate and move out of the region. And so these opportunities for them, some of them can go study and return and continue to build St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So that's why we're here today, to provide this opportunity for our students.
Scott said each of the universities represented at the fair present unique ideas of study which should be of interest to the students of the SVG Community College.
Then each of the institutions has different specializations. So we have, for example, a school from Germany, the Berlin School of Business and Innovation. So all of our business students should be very interested in that. We have Heston College, which also does a bachelor's in nursing. In fact, very similar to our programs here at the SVGCC Heston College. So we are looking at how maybe we can partner, maybe do exchanges for some of our students with them. We also have Trine here, and they do engineering programs. They're very interested in our technical students in a number of different engineering areas. We also have Thompson Rivers University, and so they each have different specializations, and we are seeing opportunities for partnerships and for articulation with many of them. A lot of enthusiasm we are seeing at the tables. All of the universities that are here are quite busy talking to students, sharing information with students, and the students all seem quite excited. Both first and second year students here at the Villa campus. I'm looking forward to seeing some of our teacher ed students, some of our technical students even, visiting the tables this morning and during the course of the day so that they can find out. But it's quite an enthusiastic response so far.
The SVG Community College Director said such fairs are of importance to the students and that they will be partnering with more universities to highlight all of the options available to students.
I think definitely any opportunity that provides for Vincentians options, because we all need options when it comes to further study, when it comes to our personal growth and development. And this is something that we'll be pursuing with Study Abroad Student Services to do at least annually. And we would continually be looking for other opportunities to have other institutions visit. We have the UWI every year, and they'll be coming later this semester as well to do their road shows. But we also welcome other institutions to be partnering with us.
Representatives of the various universities participating in the fair took the opportunity to highlight some of the unique areas of study which they offer.
I'm from the University of Guelph. Guelph is a small city in Ontario, Canada. We have hospitality and tourism management, which a lot of the islands are interested in. We have our food and agriculture, which focus on sustainability and development, also really good for the islands. And we do have science programs, which can prepare students to go on to med school. A lot of the students there have been interested in medicine as well as business.
The disaster management program trains students to be leaders, to be first responders in a disaster situation, whether that be a hurricane or an earthquake or flooding. They're trained to be first responders. There's certainly a medical component to that because always their first concern is for survivors. Then it's damage assessment. It includes reconstruction, which can be anything from 3 to 5 to 10 years. Not only reconstruction of homes and businesses, but infrastructure and economy.
Okay, our school is 100% specialized on international students. We are very comprehensive about your academic records and also about your experience. So, a part of this course, there's a lot of extra things they're getting. They're getting a very nice and very wild network. They're getting a second language will be German. They also get certificates from London School of Business and Finance, which is a partner of us. So what I think it's the school, it's a very good door and a very good opportunity for those students that want to become global.
Yeah, I would say so far students are really interested in business, so we have to offer finance, accounting, global commerce, management, and human resources. We also have a few specialty programs at our campus as well. One is called Social Justice and Peace Studies, so that's for students that are really wanting to make a difference in their city or their country and come back and really make those important changes that are needed around social justice. We have a social work program for students interested in helping people, as well as a disability studies program. So there's been some interest around that as well today, which is awesome.
Students from the Beckway Seventh-day Adventist Secondary School also attended today's University and College Fair. The school's principal, Maury Hercules, said it is hoped that the fair will inspire the students to seek higher education.
Opportunity to provide for our students opportunities for advancement in education, because we understand the value of education in our world today. Therefore, I consider it a privilege to have them attend activities like this so that they can be exposed to universities and colleges, and so are better able to make wise decisions as it relates to their future educational goals and objectives. We're happy here. We're happy, and I'm glad that some of my students embraced the opportunity to be here. We hope that it will serve as a motivation for them to choose higher education, because it's important in today's world.